So what's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Dalek JD, and in this video, you've read the title, we're going to be talking about everything Black Ops 3 Zombies did wrong. If you missed my previous video from a few weeks ago talking about what I think Black Ops 3 Zombies did right, you can find that link down below. But you guys were all asking in the comments, stop being so positive, we need the negative. And of course, we're saving that for its own individual video, which we now have. Before I say anything else, I have nothing against Treyarch at all. I absolutely love every single game that they've created. I love every single Zombies iteration they've created. I have nothing against them. This is purely just a review of the negative things which I think made this Zombies not as great as it's been in previous years. But that's not to say that I still didn't enjoy it, because I really did enjoy it all the same. It was just there were some things which I'm sure you guys will agree on, nowhere near as strong as in previous games, and there was just a few things that just went wrong in my opinion. If you agree, be sure to click that like button. Let me know if you like this video down below, and if you have anything else which you feel were really bad things that Treyarch did with Black Ops 3 Zombies, let me know down below in the comments. Now, these are in no particular order, but I'm going to start with the main one, of course, which is the fact that for the first time in a Zombies game, the storyline was the forefront of the maps and gameplay was simply secondary, in my opinion. Now, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that we had a massive storyline focus, because we've never really had that before in Zombies maps up until now, but when the story drives the gameplay and completely overtakes it, that's when it starts to ruin the experience a little bit. And examples like this is stuff like Shadows of Evil, where you have to unlock the Pack-a-Punch by doing unnecessary rituals which make up the story and release the Shadow Man. In Black Ops 2, I can hardly ever recall a map where it wasn't just simply going to the Pack-a-Punch. It was pretty simple. You just found it on the map and you Pack-a-Punch your weapon. You didn't have to do some unnecessary rituals. You didn't have to find pieces around the map to build a contraption to drain water to give you access to the Pack-a-Punch. Horizon Drac hit the nail on the head with the Pack-a-Punch system. You simply walk up to a platform, boom, the Pack-a-Punch is there. Even Gorak Grovey was a slight bit annoying in terms of getting Pack-a-Punch by having to activate 3 different things around the map and protecting them to call in the dragons. Again, that's storyline focused, but I don't think that was as bad. But back in the old days, playing Zombies was to get to high rounds and have fun with friends, but with Black Ops 3 Zombies, I don't know why, but maybe besides the Horizon Drac, none of the other maps felt like they had that essence or that special feeling where you just wanted to keep playing and get to your highest round possible. I can remember fondly trying to go for high rounds on Ascension because that was really fun, going for high rounds on Shangri-La, even Moon. Buried in Origins was super fun to go for high rounds on, but from my experience, at least anyway, the Horizon Drac was the only fun map to go for high rounds on, as well as the Giant, but I don't really count that one because essentially it's the Reese. And my second main gripe of what they done wrong was Zetsubou no Shima, and I know there's a few of you watching that genuinely actually like that map, and that is completely fine, but this will probably really get on your nerves, and hopefully most of you watching agree with me here. Now, Zetsubou was the weakest Zombies map out of all of Black Ops 3 in my opinion, and almost one of the weakest maps we've ever had in the entirety of Zombies. The only good thing Zetsubou brought was the plant system, because that was brought over into Zombies in Spaceland, but adapted and was made much better in my opinion. I don't know why on earth Treyarch thought it was a good idea to have a temporary power as well as permanent power. It was just such a dumb thing, because there's some people that have played this map and genuinely believe that the only power that exists is the temporary power, which is by watering the Lab A and Lab B, which is absolutely ridiculous. Why that is in there, I do not know, but that is one of the most annoying things about the map, period. And that doesn't even come to account the amount of points that you need to open doors to get these power switches on, and then to open the bunker as well to get the power on there. It's the most expensive thing I think we've ever had in a Zombies map. We also had the introduction to one of the best specialist ability weapons we've had yet, which was the Skull of Nansupwi. This thing is amazing and I wish we saw it again, but getting this thing is no easy feat, especially if you're playing on solo, and the fact you have to juggle getting the power on as well as getting good weapons, getting perks so you can actually survive and do all these skull locations, it is pretty impossible for the average Zombies player. And then you throw in the Thrashers, which are the most annoying thing in the world, and you could get at least 2 a round if you're not careful because you're not popping spores. It is so mad. And the Easter egg. the Zetsubou Easter egg. Is this some sort of joke? It was literally 2 steps. That's all you needed, was 2 steps. Get the skull and then get 3 cogs to activate an elevator. Like, sure, the Zetsubou Easter egg is quite easy, but it is just so underwhelming to have that little steps. When this map first came out, we were in disbelief that this was completed in just over 24 hours. And it's not exactly a fun Easter egg to do either. There's no real exciting moments that come up during it. It's really underwhelming of a map. Story-wise, I thought the map was pretty darn cool, how we have a separate group called Division 9 experimenting on animals and plants, which is what gave this map such a unique vibe. And it's a disappointment that this was not explored any further in the story. After Zetsubou, we never hear from them again. It's just back to Group 935 in Gorod Krovi, and then in Revelations, just nothing at all. A missed opportunity in my opinion, and every Black Ops game so far has had one of those maps which is like the ugly duckling in the pool of ducks. We've had Black Ops 1, which has Shangri-La, which wasn't the most favoured map in the world. Black Ops 2 was Die Rise, that's the weakest one, and now Black Ops 3 is Zetsubou. But enough of Zetsubou, we're now going to talk as well about the gap between DLC 2 and DLC 3. Now, the second DLC, Zetsubou, came out April the 16th, 2016. But when did we get Gorod Krovi? July the 12th. Now, if you can't work out the maths, that is almost a 3-month wait. Pretty much a 3-month wait for the next map. And in between a map like Zetsubou, it is brutal to be waiting that long, especially since Treyarch was so silent for the longest time. We didn't even really hear about Gorod Krovi until maybe a week to 2 weeks before the release of it. Now, if you can remember back then, it was the most painful wait in the entire world. It was just unbearable. But the wait was worth it because Gorod Krovi was pretty darn awesome. But then after Gorod Krovi, we had to wait about a month and a half until we got given Revelations. And the hype leading up to it was pretty darn incredible. I'm happy that they released so many trailers and stuff. But Revelations, oh boy, what a disappointment. Treyarch was creating and weaving this incredible story of all of our characters going on this incredible mission across the universes to kill their former selves, as that would fix things and keep the children safe in the house. We've known since Origins with that end cutscene, we were left in mystery and awe of what exactly that meant, and we were excited that we were finally about to learn what that was. Now let me know if I'm missing something here, but this just makes no sense whatsoever. So we start off at the Giant, we kill Richtofen, which was incredible, we kill Dempsey, we kill Takeo, and we kill Nikolai, because we want their souls. Now what do the souls do? It brings them as children into the house. But what happens after that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We see the children for a few brief seconds in a cutscene at the start of the map. And that is literally it. No mention of them at all. Nothing. It's just, what? I can't fathom how we spent an entire year playing zombies, getting on this massive journey of collecting these souls to their children, and then nothing happens with them whatsoever. Like, that anticlimax just makes me angry. Just that alone. The fact that we had to get a trailer to explain slightly of what the children are doing in the house, but even then we don't know about their fate. It's just so weird. More so than weird, anticlimactic. And that is Revelations in the dictionary. You look it up, the definition of Revelations is anticlimactic, maybe even disappointing. Now, the first time playing Revelations, it was breathtaking to be visiting all these different zombie maps like Origins, Kino de Toten, Verrückt, Mob of the Dead. It was incredible, but once you got round the fact that it was pretty awesome, you realise that there's literally about 5% of the map that's an original map. The rest is literally reskins. With a map that's supposed to be as climatic as this, ending the story, so as it were, you'd expect there to be more playable area of the map that is actually new. The map simply is just a paradise for those that want to go back and enjoy the best parts of zombies, which is fine in my opinion, but I just expected more, and I expected new things. No new wonder weapons, no new perks, no new playable characters, just nothing at all. And then we have that end cutscene, and oh my goodness, that could literally be a video all on its own. But how disappointing, it just makes no sense. It's quite obvious they weren't going to end the story, but for them to lead it up to that point and saying and sounding like it was going to be the end by saying we've reached the end of our 8-year zombies journey, for that ending, it just felt like we were cheated. And the Easter egg itself was just one of the most alien feeling Easter eggs we've ever been given. Why we had to find 5 bones around the map, it doesn't make sense. Like, Treyarch used to be fantastic at Easter eggs, and their steps made sense. And they give you hints and tips towards getting these steps done as well. But there was no hints whatsoever. You just simply had to somehow know that you needed to shoot these very specific things with pack-a-punch weapons only, and then use the Apothicon Servant to suck the bones up. Like, it was weak in my opinion, and the fact that that was mainly about Sophia introducing another storyline, which, to be honest, could have been introduced in Gorad Krovi when she was brought back, rather than have half of the Easter egg focused on her story, was really weird. But I loved how they were introducing, like, loose ends that were never explained in the older games, but with Sophia and Maxis, I never expected them to be the ones that were so-called saving the universe and getting rid of the Apothicons. It just felt so strange for her to come in last minute and be part of such an important moment. Whilst we're on the topic of story, another point on its own solely is, why was Dr. Monty introduced so late into the story? We knew ever since we got Black Ops 3 that there was this Dr. Monty character, because we had Dr. Monty's factory. We were like, what the hell? And there was mentions in Shadows of Evil of Dr. Monty creating the gobble gum, as well as creating like confectionery items like chocolate. So we were like, okay. And then the characters are obviously referencing Dr. Monty, but I feel Dr. Monty should have been introduced a ton earlier than at the end of Gorad Krovi, because he was such an important character. But if he was so important, why was he introduced so late? It just doesn't make any sense. I think about it reasonably. We have a character which is one of the most powerful characters in the entire zombies universe. He has the power to control things. He can see everything in every universe, and even be able to wipe people from existence like he was going to do with our characters at the end. And we only learn about him in the second to last map, and we didn't even know what he looked like until we get to Revelations. Like, the story started off so incredibly well, and as time went on, it just got worse and worse. We're introduced to the Apothicons and this crazy epic story that there was the great battle, and that's almost what we expected to see in the final boss fight of Revelations, but it was simply a boss that they just reused from Shadows of Evil. The mechanic to kill the Shadow Man was exactly the same as Shadows of Evil. You had to just hold square, and it was a book that killed the Shadow Man. Out of all the lore and story of Black Ops 3 Zombies, it was a goddamn book that killed the Shadow Man after all that. But what a cop-out. And when you look at the previous DLC maps, we pretty much played a ton of them, but in my experience when it came to Rev, it's boring, and there's zero new things gameplay wise. There's no new specialist, there's no new wonder weapons, and like I mentioned at the start, there's no really anything new of a map to play. And because of that, you have to go back and play either Shadows of Evil, Der Eisendrache, or Gorad Krovi to really enjoy Black Ops 3 Zombies, which is a shame because you should be able to play all the maps. And looking back, DLC 4, previous we've had Moon and Origins, and those are 2 ridiculously epic maps, and then we have Revelations. It just doesn't cut it. But I think for now, we're going to leave that as the main things that Black Ops 3 Zombies has done wrong. I'm sure there is a ton of things that you've realised whilst watching this video that you don't like that Treyarch did throughout Black Ops 3 Zombies, and if you've realised that or you have other ideas, pop them down below in the comment section, and there may be a part 2. Like I said at the start of this video, this is not a rant, this is not a hate video on Treyarch at all. I absolutely love them. This is just, in my opinion, the things that I did not like, and hopefully this time around when they come back in a few years time, the Zombies is going to just be the most perfect thing. If you enjoyed and you agree with anything I said, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe for more. I'll catch you next time.